So we are here at my beach house, which is a property in another country than the one I live. And obviously connectivity and remote access to the home is very important, both from security and maintenance point of view. Today I would like to show you how I have put in place multiple WAN wide area network connections in order to ensure connectivity and reliability. So my network looks a bit like this. Let me show you here the basics and explain what we are running here. So my network is run on Ubiquiti. I have a router which is Unifi Cloud Gateway Ultra that supports multiple wide area network connections. And as you see here, I have actually gone with having three WANs, three wide area networks. On WAN 1, I have my fixed ADSL connection from a local provider in Greece called Cosmote. On WAN number 2, I have a Starlink, and as WAN number 3 that you see here as LTE failover, I'm using Ubiquiti's Unifi LTE device, that is a cellular device. So three available wide area network connections. And of course, they are all landing on my cloud gateway. And behind that, I have, of course, a switch with PoE. And as you can imagine, there is many access points and so on that then have around 40 devices typically running on Wi-Fi in this home. Here is my ULTE, as I said. So if I click here on my dashboard, you can see my networks. You can see WAN 1 and WAN 2 here. The WAN 3, the LTE, is actually handled a bit special on Ubiquiti. So WAN 1, my DSL network, as I said, I can do a speed run. It's actually capped at 100 megabps downlink and around 10 uplink. So that's actually what you see here. And if I go on WAN 2, you will see that I have the Starlink. I can also do a speed test here. Now, interestingly, on the Starlink, the uplink mentioned here is always much lower than what Starlink can do. But I believe this has to do with the cloud gateway not being able to manage. It's connected on basically port number 4, not being able to do very reliable speed tests on this port, because you see it shows on Starlink 127 downlink, 7 megabps uplink. I'm coming here on my Starlink app, and as you see here, minus the reflections, is I can do actually a speed test directly on my Starlink, and you will see that we'll be getting much higher speeds. But we'll be doing a speed test later actually from my Mac. You see I'm very comfortably hitting 370, 380 downlink, even though that's not what the Unifi Cloud Gateway could report, and then pretty impressive 50 megabps upload with a latency that it's actually even lower than my ADSL can hit. Okay. Back to the console of my cloud gateway. You can actually see here the two WANs, the DSL on the top, the Starlink on the bottom. The little yellow lines you see on the DSL is some small latencies throughout the day. Typically those are 50 milliseconds or higher. You see Starlink actually is much more solid. Pure green, solid green means very reliable. There is a little interruption here, but that was me, the red color, slightly disconnecting for a few minutes the Starlink a bit earlier. As I said, the failover, the LTE failover is actually handled a bit differently on the Ubiquiti network. You see actually it stays here on a special window. You see I've only used 5 megabytes of it, and it doesn't actually show it the very same way here. There is also something special with regards to the ULTE. It's actually connected not on a WAN port. Interestingly, it's connected on any LAN port, but still it behaves like a WAN when the other two networks are down. So let's do a very basic speed test, actually from a speed test website. So you see now by default I have the DSL as a number 1 connection, Starlink as number 2, and if both fail, then it will actually go to the ULT, my 3G connection over Vodafone network. But as everything is working as it should right now, Cosmote, the DSL, is my main provider, and I'll do a speed test, and in this case the speed test is from my laptop. And let's see what we are getting. Again, that should actually be capping around 100 megabps. I'm on the same room as my Wi-Fi access point is, so as expected, hitting the top speed of my DSL, and similar a bit on the uplink. Should be hitting around 9 point something, yes. And you can see the IP address, it's my DSL network. Now what we can do is, I have some smart plugs in my home, and actually I have a smart plug on my DSL router. So I'm going to simply click on that, and my DSL router is going down. Now it will take a few seconds, hopefully, for my Unifi to figure this disconnection. And actually, as you see, already now there is a disruption. It says network is offline. Now the natural thing is that silently the Starlink should be able to route the traffic on the background. So very soon we should be able to reconnect to my Unifi console. Let's see here. Yes, I'm back to my console. So I'm back to this home that I'm right now, and what you see now, very interestingly, is that WAN 1 is down, as of course we expected. You see it's with red color. You see the WAN 2 is up, which is the Starlink. And also here the 2 lines we had before have disappeared. Only 1 line is here because the WAN 1 has disappeared. Meanwhile, I got on my phone a notification that WAN 1 is down. So if I go now back to the speed test, and again I'm on my Mac, what you of course see as expected is that the Starlink is now reporting an IP address for my home, which is of course what should happen. And now let's do also the real test based on the Starlink network, and this is speed test from my laptop, right? So back to the point I made earlier, you see that my laptop can definitely report these high speeds that Starlink provides, even though the traffic goes through the Unifi Cloud Gateway Ultra, both on the downlink and the uplink. And interestingly, when I was doing speed test from the console of the Unifi Cloud Gateway Ultra, I was not getting those speeds. So don't really trust those speeds that you see there. I get really the best of speeds here directly on my laptop. Okay, so now what has happened is WAN 1 is up, down, WAN 2 has kicked in automatically. I have configured as a failover, but let's see actually what would happen even if WAN 2 would actually go down. I can go to my Starlink up here, and what I will do is I will go to the settings, and actually I would store, as it's called, the Starlink, right? So storing the Starlink means putting it into a position that it will not connect to the satellite network anymore. So you see it's been stowed. It says that I can actually unstow it if you can see, but fundamentally that means that the Starlink is now down. You see Starlink is stowed and not connected. So of course what I expect now to happen here is that would actually also be down, and you see network is offline again, but I would expect that the ULTE would have kicked in now as the third WAN. Let's see, I'll go back to this home here. Okay, now you see WAN 2 is red, right? WAN 1 does not work, WAN 2 is red, and you will see now very interestingly that it says LTE failover is active. Previously it said that it was ready. When it's active, it means actually it routes data through the LTE network, right? So you see I have consumed around 6.5 megabytes. But the interesting thing is, of course, back to my Mac, going to check the speed test. And yes, as I expected, the Vodafone network is now my main network, the IP address. I can do a speed test for my ULT, fundamentally the WAN 3. And of course it's only a 4G network, so don't expect very high speeds. This is, you know, the last resort, if you wish, so capping at around 5 megabps. And we will also just see the uplink. Yeah, also 1.3. But very interestingly also you see that here the data is actually moving on the LTE failover, and of course it doesn't update really in real time in every few seconds, but actually it has consumed more than it had consumed earlier. So the speed test is done. Of course you see much higher latencies, right? It's a 4G network. And that's basically fundamentally what happens with the failovers and having 3 different WANs. Now of course I can go back to my Starlink. I can actually in that case unstow it and make it point to the sky again, and then I can actually go back to my smart plugs and I can reactivate my ADSL router. So that means that in a few seconds my WAN 1 and WAN 2 should be up. Of course the router takes a bit of time to boot up, the DSL router especially, but of course I expect that it's all going to be up and running again and seamlessly allow me to connect to the wide area networks. Let's give it a minute and see if it all comes up. The user interface of course goes down from time to time when this handover happens, right? Because the public IP address that my network is going out has been changing, and then the Unifi network on the background of the dashboard are expected to device somewhere else. But let's give it a minute and see when something would hopefully kick in. Let's go back here. Let's see. Let's give it a try here to see what network it thinks. I'm actually still on the cellular, so I guess the devices have not really booted up yet. Let me go back to my Starlink app here and see a bit what is being reported. Yeah, it says that the Starlink is online. We can see that the Starlink is calibrating because it was down before. We can see the disruption that we had by stowing it, and it's actually all being up, and we can redo a quick speed test. So yeah, the Starlink is definitely up and running. So the question is, how long would it take for the Unifi dashboard to wake up? Yes, you see the WAN 2 is up, the Starlink is up, and the WAN 1 is up. You see both lines now have appeared after a little bit of breakage, and the LTE is back to just being ready. So if I go back to the speed test, I would expect that yeah, it switched now to Starlink, and when the router is up and running, I would expect to switch to the DSL. So that's what I wanted to share with you. That's a great solution to connect to places remote like this, if redundancy and connectivity are very important. And now you know what it means to use not 2 but 3 different WAN connections on a Unifi network. Thank you.